Oh, yeah, that's right. It is that time of the month again. It is the Cigar Professor time of the month. No, not that time of the month. What did you think I was talking about? It's the Cigar Professor time of the month, of course, you numpty. Look, what we have is the thrilling conclusion of our Romeo and Juliet triple pack. Now, as you would well know, we've gone to monthly shows here at the Cigar Professor from the weekly shows that we used to have. And I think it's been going well, actually. We had good viewership numbers, and me and Omar and Damo have been having a lot of fun. And this pack, we've been exploring the brand of Romeo and Juliet. We started with the Wide Churchill. Now, if you can cast your mind back 2 months, you'll remember that we all kind of reported that it was a bit odd. It just wasn't as Cuban as a Cuban ought to be. It raised a lot of questions that we just don't have answers for at this point in time. Now, last month we had the Short Churchill, and that was pretty much spot on. That was right where a good quality Cuban cigar ought to be. Well, this is the last in our Romeo and Juliet triple taste for this pack. Pack number 10, pack number 11, by the way, is in the works, and I have it in my hot little hands, and we'll be talking more about that later on this show. But you know what? To tell us about this cigar, why don't I get the man himself, the one who actually does all of the hard work around here and has tracked down this cigar for our smoking pleasure. Well, hang on, talking about smoking pleasure, what are you doing?
I thought there could be a slim opportunity that Omar doesn't turn up, so I thought I'd be the fill-in, you know, the one that comes onto the show smoking, just so that there's a bit of consistency in the vibe of the show.
So hang on, let me get this straight. Just because we weren't going to have to put up with Omar's absolutely disgusting manners where he shows up smoking, you thought you were going to lower yourself to his level rather than allowing us to enjoy a high-class, high-quality show. Am I understanding correctly here?
Well, look, there's a feel and a vibe to the show that viewers have sort of become accustomed to, whether it's good or not. And I just thought,
or not,
can't disappoint, you know. So,
if there was anyone who could disappoint, it would be us three. All right. So, tell me a little bit about this particular Romeo and Juliet.
Okay. So, some people call it a Robusto, but it's a 48 ring gauge, and technically Robusto.
That is not a Robusto.
No.
Yeah.
So
no, it's not a Robusto.
By technical definition, would be classed as a Corona Grande.
Okay.
It's a 48 ring gauge by 5-inch long. If it had been just 2 points bigger in the ring gauge, you call it a Robusto.
Sure.
But so this is actually our fallback position. The original plan for the pack was the Wide Churchill, the Short Churchill, and then the Churchill. Unfortunately, because supply is lacking and demand is outstripping supply with Cuban cigars, they've made the decision, no Churchills at the moment, and they are actually, and that the basic, oh my goodness, hang on.
I'm not reacting to the news about the Churchill. I already knew the news about the Churchill. Really, dude. You're overseas and everything. You could have just not showed up, man. Did you not get the memo? You're muted.
No audio. That's even better.
No, he's muted, which is probably a mercy. We should just thank God for small mercies, I think, that we can't hear him. Looks like he's in some industrial district, probably about to get murdered. Dude, you're muted. We can't hear you. Yeah, he's figuring it out now. All right, there we go.
All right, so I'm at Gold Coast with a bunch of friends and my son, Zach. Zach, say hi to everyone. Now, so I thought I was really, really smart, which I am, obviously. Say hi to the boys.
Hi, Zach.
Hey.
So I packed up my boy, like Zach, and an aluminum case with my $1,000 cigar.
I already know where this is going. I already know where this is going.
I've lost the fucking few $1,000 worth of cigars at the X-ray. I left it at the X-ray place in Sydney.
At the airport.
Yeah, at the airport.
No words.
I know.
You can just drop him off the screen now.
Me is gone.
I know that you're fishing for sympathy here. You want me to like feel sorry for you or something. but I know that a few $1,000s worth of cigar was maybe 8 hours, maybe 10 hours supply. So it's just hard for me
Zach
to
was
really.
crying. My son was even crying.
Oh, well,
And
now I
said,
feel
"Dude,
bad.
it's okay." No, seriously, he was crying. I said, "Why are you crying, dude? It's okay." And I had to run outside, look for a tobacconist, and just get a bunch of cigars just for the night. I've got an Angel.
Ooh, okay. Fuente Opus X Angel Share. Is that what you're holding there?
Yeah.
Sorry. He just casually goes, "Oh, I've got an Angel." Right, like he just cash, like, oh yeah, I just had to run to the tobacconist and I got a Fuente Opus X Angel Share. Like it ain't no big deal. Far out, Omar. You are insufferable. You want us to cry over the cigars you left behind, and that's the crappy replacement you bought? Come on, man.
You know, I thought it was Cigar Professor, so I had to dig deep, and yeah. I'm really devastated.
So when are you going to start doing that? Digging deep?
Nah, I made this effort to go Zach with me. I thought it's my 50th birthday. I'm going to have that $1,000 steak, but
see, I told you, Damo, we wouldn't have to bring up his birthday. He was going to bring it up himself. I told you. If we just do nothing, we say nothing, we ignore it, we pretend like it's not happening, he will bring it up.
I've never brought a birthday ever. It's not my thing. But today was the first time I ever wanted to.
Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Mate, look.
I've got
two sisters. I never miss.
They're like really, really good friends of mine, Rhonda and Chantel. And we just had a nice, beautiful dinner. And yeah, it's been a memorable.
So did you ring the federal police and put out a missing persons report?
for Cohiba 1966 alone, that is worth a report.
I am trying something different tonight. I'm going to use a cedar spill to light my stick.
There you go.
Just for something different.
Omar, just for 2 seconds in my life, I'm actually going to treat you like you're another human being and say that does genuinely suck, man. And I'm sorry to hear it, especially when you were going away for your birthday and you had all those cigars. That sucks, and I'm sorry.
Shit happens, bro. Shit happens. I had to shut Zach up. I said, you fucking just shut up. It's okay. He was just crying, teary. I'm like, dude, it's okay. It's only a cigar. He loves my cigar. He sets them up for me. Like he just got me cigars. Go, Daddy, you're a cigar professor. Your cigars, you know. He's like my main man.
You trained him well. You trained him well.
That's him.
Got to say, good draw on mine. No indications of any Cuban build quality issues. Really lovely draw
on mine.
Good light up.
Oh, beautiful.
That smells nice. Yeah. The smoke.
Toasty, bready, nutty.
Yeah. Yeah, see, this reminds me of why people bang on about Cuban cigars, and not every Cuban cigar does that. But this one is exactly where it ought to be.
Yeah.
Beautiful opener.
That is what I assign to my taste memory of a Romeo and Juliet from Cuba.
Romeo and Juliet, Cuban cigar. It's a lovely Vitola, actually. It's just sitting really nicely in the hand. I as much as I enjoy smoking your 50 and your 56 ring gauges and your really chunky nubs and 560s and all that sort of stuff, there is something to be said about more of that Corona Vitola, that sort of 46, 48 sort of ring gauge. It just sits really nicely in the hand. It just becomes an extension of your hand. You can become an Italian. You can talk with your hands when you got one of these cigars. Whereas the other ones, you feel like you have to be protective of them because they're just so chunky.
After all this shit of losing all the cigars and stuff, RJ has been rolling out a lot of new cigars. Lately, they hit the market with a lot of regional editions for French markets, European markets, Middle Eastern markets, and all that. They've been rolling out some really new good. They seems to picking up. As you know, Topher, I'm a fan of RJ. I'm a fan of Churchill, short Churchill.
Look,
I love RJ.
you hide it well. You hide it well, but you are secretly. You're a closet fan. No one would ever know, but you are a closet fan of RJ. That's true.
That's right. Topher. How's Daniel and company and how they're going? And
yeah, look,
I know
Daniel's surviving remarkably well, given that I'm now so close. I've visited his house a couple of times, and he's just never home. Like his wife has to come out and be like, "Oh no, sorry, he's not here. He's not here. He's not here." And I can hear him in the back saying, "I'm not here. I'm not here. I'm not here." So I just figure he must not be home. Like he's just a really busy guy. So that's unfortunate, but I'm doing my best to catch up with him. Tim's got a really great comment here. If Disney was doing a Santa Claus remake, Omar, I reckon you should probably audition. I reckon you'd have a good chance, now that they've got sort of, your African-American Little Mermaid and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, look, I was thinking he could be a good Ariel.
Yeah, he'd make a great Ariel. Absolutely. Who could possibly deny that you are a picture perfect Ariel?
I'll take his mugshot with me when I go and tour with Disney on Ice later in the month, and might be able to land in the gig.
Yeah.
No word of a lie. You know the photos that you took the other day when we were smoking, Steve, your new boyfriend cigar? Oh, by the way, Toph, I got a breaking news for you.
Right.
Damo's, I don't know if I should be telling you this. Damo wanted to divorce Nick Perdomo and do Saki-Sakis on Stevie Saka now. Did you know that?
Well, that's because his name is Saka. It's so very close to Saki. It's just, it makes sense.
Yeah. But on a more positive note, Dames, you know the photos that you took that day?
Yeah.
So I got my first modeling gig, beard model.
Mm-hmm.
So my mate's wife, who's doing a photography course, she invited me to smoke cigar in front of her so she can take some photos. And that's because of Damo's photography. Bez's wife, Annabelle.
I mean, I've heard that some people have low standards, but I didn't think it was real.
like standards is the key. You have no fucking standards. You gotta start somewhere.
Look, I must have something going for me because I have never asked you to pose for me on camera.
Wouldn't you? Secretly, you do. Off the record.
Listen, there's so much of you on OnlyFans already. There's no need for me to take more photos.
Okay. Wow.
I won't repeat some of the words that were coming out of Omar's mouth with what he was claiming that Steve Saka was doing to his mouth.
So Omar, do I interpret from your reaction a moment ago that you've got perhaps some underage ears within earshot? Do you?
I've got some friends here, so I can't talk about everything.
So can I just? Okay. Hello, lovely ladies. I see that. Omar will be dining out on this story for about the next 10 years of the time when he was having a cigar on a balcony on the Gold Coast with two lovely looking ladies, right? This is like the highlight of his life so far.
Yeah. So far.
I do have to warn you though, this is not a PG rated show. So I'm going to need to see some ID. I need to card you both to make sure that you are of age and that you can hear some of the jokes that we've got coming up a little bit later on, okay? All right, good. I'll let you show Omar your IDs. I'll take his word for it.
Yeah. Anyway, so Damo,
since Omar's got nothing to contribute to this cigar,
but he's distracted, isn't it? Clearly.
Yeah, this is actually pleasantly sweet, and I would say it is a little bit more fruity than I'm used to with a Cuban cigar.
I was going to go with a little bit of citrus rind, like a preserved citrus rind marmalade of some sort.
It's definitely a sweet fruit. There's something a little bit deeper in there as well. Can't quite place it. It's not the flavor of rock melon, but for me, you know, that sweet flavor, the sweetness of rock melon. I'm sort of getting that nice.
I know what you mean, but I'm not getting that. I think I'm heading in a currant type direction.
Yeah, that was one of the flavors I got straight up on light up behind that bread and the nuts. I was getting that raisin currant sort of flavor there.
Yeah, it's like a cross between a hot cross bun and a Christmas pudding with no custard for me. It's somewhere in that range.
This is the reason why Omar probably lost the cigar, because he hates hot cross buns and Christmas pudding.
No, he
actually,
didn't lose
truth
it. He
be known,
smoked them all.
True. That's exactly right. He smoked them all before.
I can't handle. I don't like humans putting fucking fruits in their bread. Who the fuck does that?
We found his button. We found his button.
Chocolate I can do in the dough. Chocolate I can. Yeah, but
this is the hill that Omar is willing to die on.
Yeah.
We found it, everybody. Look, my theory is that Omar actually just locked himself in the toilet on the airplane and smoked all those cigars on his flight up to the Gold Coast.
Yeah,
I reckon that's a much more likely story.
Dude, I'm not worried about me. My boy was actually literally was in tears. I always felt so bad. Like I said, I've almost felt like I let him down because he's kind of like, shit, man. I'm setting up a bad example. I just left my whole case at the X-ray thing. Like, fuck.
Well, one of the security staff is having a good night. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Motherfuckers. I'm not happy, dude. I had some really decent cigars in that.
I believe you. I believe you.
6, but they're very good cigars. Very, very good cigars.
It sucks, man. It sucks.
So over it.
Omar, one day, I promise you can hold on to this. This is a promise. One day, you will have some actual friends who will care.
Yeah.
Okay? And you just hold on until that day comes, yeah?
Yeah, I will. Right. I promise. Like,
you do that. You do that.
Those words just made me almost puke.
Yeah. Yeah. No, good. That's proof, right? Excellent.
Wow.
Thank you. That was an amazing moment. Thank you. Thank you for that moment.
For that to ever occur.
I just remember. Wait. Did I forgot to let you know, Topher. Fuck you. Wait. Fuck you, Topher.
Okay.
Wait. Fuck you.
Okay.
That's cute.
Yeah. No, look, that makes perfect sense. That's honestly one of the most eloquent things I've ever heard you say. So you're not going to get any argument out of me. That's that was good. That was good. Well done, Omar.
It's a good one.
Now next time, can you just remember to start the meeting with, "Hi, my name's Omar, and I have issues," right? If you could just remember the opening, and then we can get on to the fuck yous, okay? Nothing? You got nothing? No comeback?
No, I was doing a 3-way with the girls and Zach at the same time. I don't want to embarrass you, that's all.
You were too busy, hey?
Nah, whoa, who's that? Daniel Moore. Dude, yeah. Raisin bread is awesome. Fucking in your dreams. No way.
See, he shows up when I'm on the Cigar Professor, but he hides when I show up at his door.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Daniel Turner, good to see you. You're an occasional viewer. Thank you very much for dropping by. Yes, you should like one. Absolutely.
You know what that flavor is really starting to remind me of at the moment? The candied citrus that you get in hot cross buns and raisin bread. And
well, I think that was kind of where I was going with the citrus rind. Sort of in the same overall family, I think.
Yeah.
For me, I think mine's just got more of a twist to it than what yours does. Your notes have been sweeter than mine all the way through thus far.
No, I'm actually surprised that like I've not had a Cuban cigar this sweet.
Yeah, right.
So. But in other news, I think it's happened since the last show was the devastating news of Mr. Albanese reinstating the increase on tobacco tax. So that's prompted me to. So I've already got the next pack lined up.
Yeah,
I've actually started working on the following pack, and I'm even now contemplating on the pack after that at the moment, just to try and see if we can get all that stuff in before the next tax hike.
Well, they'll be aged. That's the good news. You know, they'll have an extra 6 months of age on them. We know they'll be acclimatized by the time they get sent out, so that's always good. Look, Damo, you are always thinking of us. You're always, working and thinking and trying to stay one step ahead, and I do appreciate it. I don't want to get too personal, especially after we've hung so much shit on Omar. But most of our viewers are aware of some of the challenges you've been facing recently, Professor Damo. So, could you give us a bit of an update? How are you feeling?
Well, I'm doing not too badly. I had to take a whole month off work and everything to cope and survive.
Right.
I'm fortunate that the treatment that I'm on is not what I'd say one of the nasty traditional treatments that you normally see. It's not a cutting edge new treatment. It's been around since 2018, 2019.
Yep.
And for me, I'm very fortunate that the only side effect that I seem to suffer of all the list of side effects that are possible is just exhaustion and fatigue.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I get the treatment and it just wipes me out for a few days. And like a day or two later, I think, oh yeah, I'm all right. And actually after the last treatment, about 2 days later, my wife said, oh, why don't we go out for lunch? Because we didn't have any food in the house. And I thought, oh yeah, I feel all right up to it. And literally only drove maybe 5 minutes down the street to a cafe, sat down in the cafe, and I couldn't stay awake. I had 3 coffees in the space of about 10 minutes to perk me up. And then about halfway through my meal, I was falling asleep. I could almost not eat my meal. So
yeah, wow. So it takes it out of you.
That's sort of behind me now, though. Interesting thing is because the treatment that I'm on is a little bit more gently compared to some of the other treatments out there. Unlike other treatments where you sort of do a month and then you might do another month and that's it. This treatment will be ongoing for at least another year for me. So probably about every second month, I'll be going in for a sort of a top-up treatment for a year.
But of the available treatments, correct me if I'm wrong, but if my memory serves me, of the available treatments, this was the one that you would have preferred, right? You got the one
That's
that you
the one
kind of wanted.
I was on before, back in 2019. And it's sort of, I guess it's, better the devil you know. So
yeah, fair enough.
My only one, and it's just a minor inconvenience, but one of the downsides with this particular drug is I'm the only case that my previous oncologist and my current oncologist has ever encountered where the actual drug totally screws up my metabolism.
All right.
So normally when you eat food, you digest it and you use some for energy. If you've eaten more calories than you need, you'll put some on as fat and you discharge the rest as waste.
Sure.
Unfortunately for me, this drug makes my body put everything on as fat. So I can be on minuscule amounts of calories, like severely calorie restricted, and I'm still gaining weight from it. So been down this path before. I know how to deal with it. It's just slow and difficult. So
yeah. Well, Tim has got a question about those cigars that you're ordering.
I haven't got much hair to lose, but I've still got what little hair I've got left. So at least I'm not
haven't had that side effect.
That's
Tim is making an observation here about the cigars in pack 12 and 13, as compared to the friends that Omar seems to have hanging around.
Well, I will say, and I'm not gonna even mention what's in the. So this is pack 10. We're going on to pack 11, which I think you've already announced what's in it.
No, I actually haven't. I've been so mixed up with everything else going on. I haven't got to that.
And then the pack after it, so there'll be pack 12. I've actually managed to land a cigar that I never thought we'd be able to put in a pack because of its price point. I managed to score a pile of them in the right price break, and yeah, I'm excited about that pack. So
yeah, okay, excellent. Well, how's it been for you tracking down only 3 cigars a quarter rather than 13, and having a bit more money per cigar to be able to sort of stretch a little bit further?
It's definitely easier. I am actually seriously considering a couple of more premium sticks as we move into pack 12 and pack 13 that we would never have been able to budget in previous packs.
Yeah.
And Omar's had the pleasure of having a few of those with me in previous weeks. Basically getting these cigars and going, hey, let's try this. And, Omar's and myself have been really, really surprised. And one of the sticks is definitely out there. It's on the fringe of, I don't know how you describe it, Omar. It's sort of like madness, craziness for the tobacco blend in it, but
crazy,
as weird and awful as it sounds, it actually was phenomenally good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to some of these upcoming sticks, and the benefit is too that some of these sticks that I want to include are generally Toro or Churchill size sticks. So now that we're looking at smaller packs with higher quality sticks, I'm able to start putting some of those in. I'm not having to scrape around trying to find the smaller budget sticks to sort of keep within budget, which is good.
Yeah, well, that was one of the challenges you always had in the old format. Was we wanted to put some big ticket sticks in every pack, but to make the budget available for those, we had to have a couple of cheapies, and yet we're not going to lower our standards, so they had to be small but good quality sticks. And there's just a limited range of those. There's just not an infinite supply of those.
But in our next pack, because we have been such a fan of the Perdomo 10th anniversary champagne series, the Connecticut, we've done the Figurado. We've done the Purito a couple of times. And I thought, well, stuff at the budget's there. Let's try it in a Churchill. When you did the Churchill with me the first time we met in Melbourne, and I thought
that, along with the coffee that you made for me, was what made me go, I think I should be friends with this person.
So I thought, why not? Let's relive a bit of nostalgia. So we've got that. We've also got 2 other sticks, another Perdomo stick in there, which is their barrel aged. We haven't touched any of their barrel aged sticks. So we've got that in a Churchill as well. Yeah. So basically, most of
2 Churchills.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and a Toro.
Cool. Hello.
Yep. So it's a stick that Omar's had in the past, and I've had in the past, and the difference between the barrel-aged sticks and the normal sticks that they do is they barrel-age the tobacco leaf before it's rolled in their normal range of sticks. But on their barrel age, they actually put the whole stick back into the barrels and do another fermenting age in the bourbon barrels to try and infuse more of that bourbon flavor into the
Okay.
So I'm doing that one in a Connecticut just to kick it off. And the last one in the pack is a request of Omo. So if it's a total botch up and we all hate it, we just know who to blame. This guy up here. And it is the Comanche Connecticut. And
that will be a great stick. I'm with Omar. That will be a really good stick.
And that's in a Toro size. So
beautiful.
Yeah, it's a good stick.
So David, number one, actually the Wide Churchill was a bit crap. It wasn't crap. It was very unexpected. It wasn't like what a Cuban should be. The other two, the Short Churchill and this one, are behaving pretty well. We've got good build quality on this one. No one's reported any issues in the comments so far. So you can just take your, anti-Cuban elitism and rack off. However, you did pick a good time to go and travel South America and go and visit freaking Antarctica while we were doing this Cuban pack. So it's nice to have you back. All in one piece. I did have to mute you on Facebook there for a while because I was just sick and tired of seeing all these incredible photos of these amazing destinations and stuff, and just fuck you. So I put you on mute for a while. But anyway, we can be friends again because you're back in Australia, right?
But so anyway, and Omar and I have also enjoyed a few sticks that might not ever make it into a pack just because their supply is so limited. But the other week we had, I've been exploring the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust cigars.
Yeah.
And there was one that I'd bought over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, sitting in my humidor. And I thought, let's give this a try. And so their standard line is they've got the Sobremesa.
Yeah.
And then they've got the Sobremesa Brulee. And Steve Sarker's worked out a way of fermenting the tobacco to make it ridiculously sweet. It almost tastes like it's a sweetened cigar, but it's not.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then that's been made with like the top few percentage of quality tobacco leaf from the harvest. And then he thought, well, why not make another stick, which is a Sobremesa Brulee Blue, which is sort of like you take that tobacco and filter it down again and get the highest percentage of that already high percentage of the harvest, tweak the blend slightly, and it was like, wow. But unfortunately, most of the wholesalers don't get that stick because it's in such limited production, and he has a lot of relations and respect to the brick and mortar stores in America. So those ones generally only become available through brick and mortars in very limited quantities. Most stores only get like 1 box or 2 boxes. And I didn't get a box, unfortunately, but I managed to get a few sticks. And had you have actually had time when you were in Sydney the other week, that was the stick you would have been smoking with us.
Yeah. That was
sadly did not. I had to drive up from Albury, have my meeting, which went for over 2 hours, and then I had to get home again all on the same day. So sadly that wasn't going to happen. But can I just ask Omar?
Yes, sir.
Does Nick Perdomo know about this?
So the girls are gone. I'll tell you what happened. So he's smoking this stick. I said, Dame. So I'm like, I pretended all innocent. There's nothing going on. I said, bro, so thank you for the stick. So if you have to smoke 1 cigar for the rest of your life, what would it be? So I've asked this question about 5,000 times. You have like 10,000 cigars. And I'm like, whatever. I just ask this question all the time. And he looked at me and his eyes went deep and he goes to me and his tongue starting to just shake. He goes to me, I would say, Steve, is almost fucking have a fit. I'm like, relax. Like, you haven't seen him. You haven't fucking met him. Like, if you want to suck him that hard, why don't you do it? Just say it. Like, just fucking say it. Just fucking, you wanted to.
Look, I hear you.
What a joke. Just because you love his stick, you want to fuck. Oh my God.
So here's my prediction that Damo is going to keep wearing Perdomo sweaters on the show.
Yeah.
Because
not just
he's worried.
Sweater, like I am going to.
He's worried that Nick watches.
Yeah.
But actually, when he goes to bed, he's wearing a Steve Sarker t-shirt. I promise you, and probably Steve Sarker boxer shorts as well.
Yeah. Apparently, he was saying that he started making some toys as well. So Steve Sarker toys.
Speaking of that, actually. So someone asked earlier what it's like now that the squatters have left my house, and so I had some people squatting here for a while, pain in the ass, but I felt sorry for them. So I couldn't say no. But just, oh gosh, what a horrid couple of weeks of my life, a couple of months actually, just insufferable. And the guy could drink too, far out, just drank me out of house and home. But he could cook as well, which did kind of make up for it. But he left that in the drawer beside his bed. And I don't know if I should be touching it, you know. I'm a little bit worried. But it does do this. So I figure it's either he's like really kinky. I mean, that's like next level, right? Or it's actually just a cigar lighter. So I'm just hoping for the best, and I'm just not going to smell it. I'm just not going to. I don't want to know.
Heavy.
Oh, so many questions. So many questions from a freeloading squatter.
Oh wow. Shit.
Yes,
man.
I still haven't used the bead gift, and I'm honestly not sure which box I'd have to look in to find it. At the moment, the house is still a jumbled up mess. Why aren't I in your corner of the studio? Well, because this is just easier. So screw you. Yeah, cool. Glad we sorted that out. No, I'm pretty sure he left them as a donation, Daniel. If you want to come and try, look, I'll bring it to your house. You just have to actually come to the front door. All right. Just, you know, I'll drop it off. Just answer your door. That's all right. Do you have cameras in my house, Tim? Do you have cameras in my house? Wow. These people, I tell you, these people. Well, I've actually knocked the ash off once. Oh yeah, I can see that. Quite a dry. It's not a sweet muskiness at all. It's quite a dry, musky type flavor. I can see that, or taste that more specifically.
It's a very soft, light smoke, texture wise. It's not that thick, chewy smoke.
Yes, texture wise it is, but the flavor is still quite sour. It's still quite a heavy raisin, dried fruit, citrus rind kind of a flavor profile for me. A little bit of spice, but it's a heavy bakery spice. It's not a red spice. It's not a red pepper or anything like that. It's a bakery spice, but it's heavy. It's dark. It's a lot of cinnamon in it, and you know, dark, almost like a burnt, a roasted cinnamon.
Yeah. And quite a pleasant foot smoke off it as well.
I'm starting to think I might need to recut this. That had a real bitterness to it on the end. Oh, wow. No, thank you. Yep. Only one or two spots, but it's there. Without question, it's there. Time for a recut.
Well, for those of you in Sydney who are watching this show, I have been made aware that there is a new cigar smoking place in Sydney. A new cigar shop in the heart of Sydney CBD called Mr. Cigar.
Ooh.
It's on York Street in the city. And I have been told that you can have a Parisian experience of smoking where you can enjoy a coffee, a croissant, and a cigar.
Oh, hello.
Sounds interesting.
So hang on. He's allowed to sell food into his smoking area?
I think the way they've worked around it is you can't have food service in your smoking area, but if someone goes to the counter and buys takeaway and it's given in takeaway containers,
I like it.
It's the loophole that they've worked around. So there's a new smoking lounge that opened up after the fact that Cohiba shut down in Darling Harbour. Across the other side of Darling Harbour now, there's one called Rouge. And the way they've got around it, and they've actually had a few big legal tiffs with the health department and stuff over it, is the fact that they actually supply food in takeaway containers if you're in the smoking area, and there's no legislation against people bringing their own takeaway food into a smoking area. They just can't serve into us.
Very good.
More power to them. More power to them. Yeah. Excellent. I like it.
Love it. Love it.
All right, hang on. I've got a. There's been a lot of comments since I last looked. Since we're sharing it and you fell in love with its performance, I thought I'd leave it for you. That's Stu, the freeloading squatter, talking about his toy that he left in his drawer next to his bed. Yeah, that's Daniel's onto it. Why am I not using the corner? Why am I not using Stu's corner of the studio? I ran a black light over it, mate. Had a good look. I'm never going back there. Never going back.
Shit.
Well, David's joining the bandwagon of people that think that Cubans today aren't real Cubans. I reckon it's a fake Cuban. The draw is good. It's not falling apart and it tastes okay. There you go. Must be a fake Cuban.
Look, it's not like what the Wide Churchill was. That was definitely...
That was odd.
That was definitely a really nice cigar, but definitely not what you expect.
Yeah, that was odd.
This has got a little bit of the Cuban tang, but it's the tang is not the bold tang that you usually get from a Cuban cigar.
Yeah, the kumquat marmalade, I believe we settled on. This is more of a, for me, this has been more of a citrus rind marmalade, and it's just not quite the same thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it even go. It's definitely sweet citrus, but not into the marmalade realm. Too dry.
It is quite a dry cigar. It is quite a dry cigar. You're absolutely right. I'm enjoying it. Would I rush back? Well, I wouldn't say no, but then that's a very low bar. Me not saying no to a cigar, that doesn't really mean a lot.
Don't ask Omar that. He's never said no to a cigar in his life.
The thing for me is I know in the back of my head that this carries a price premium because it's got the Cuban name attached to it.
Yep.
And as such, no, I don't think I would reach for this again, or I wouldn't go out and search for this and buy it again, because I know that for the price point that it's at, there's some amazing non-Cuban cigars that I think would deliver. This is not a bad smoke, so I feel bad saying that deliver a better smoke. Deliver a more interesting smoke, a more nuanced smoke, and more. I just feel like this has got its one thing, and it's just kind of gone bang. I'm this, and it's just continued to be that for me, which is funny because Cubans typically you'd expect more journey in, but that hasn't been the case with this cigar.
Look, on Monday, I was with Omar and a friend of his. I broke out some of my private stash of the Perdomo Petite Cameroon limited editions. They are approaching in the vicinity of around about 20, 21 years of age now.
Ooh, hello.
And the thing that's been really interesting, so my personal stash, I don't think we've touched any of those cigars for a couple of years. They've just been sitting there aging away nicely. They've actually started to take on the traditional Cuban tang.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting.
It was, if you had taken the wrapper off that and smoked it, you would be forgiven in thinking it was a Cuban cigar of some description.
Yeah, interesting.
So,
and sorry, remind me, what were they?
That was the Perdomo Petite Cameroon limited edition.
Cameroon. Okay, interesting. So it's not even a Habano wrapper. It's not even a Habano seed. Interesting. Stuart, yes, thank you so much for depositing the coronavirus or something with us. It's been much enjoyed by the whole family, in fact. Daniel says, I'm definitely getting the cinnamon, the currant, and still some hazelnut, but no bitterness. Yeah, the bitterness was a real hit, and when I had a look, there was just that touch of the tar, black, kind of sticky. Not much of it, but it was there, and it was enough that I was tasting it. So as soon as I cut it off, it was gone. So no, there's no real bitterness in the stick apart from that one moment.
But someone made mention on the $1,500 cup of coffee, and that was why I was around at Omar's, because Omar's friend managed to land us a sample of some of that coffee.
Yeah, right. Sorry, Omar's friend. That's a very confusing. Yeah, Daniel, I'm with you. That's a very confusing sentence.
Well, I don't know if it's so much of a friend or just someone that wants cigars and hits Omar up for the occasional.
Oh, so he's Omar.
Well, actually, I don't think he hits Omar up for the occasional cigar. I think he waits till Omar's not around and then raids his humidor.
Yeah, not only that, it's a $1,500 cup of coffee. That, yeah, not bad for a coffee.
Cool, good story. Just going back to this alleged friend. What I'm hearing, Damo, is that Omar has an Omar. Omar has a person who just shows up and nicks cigars. Is that what I'm hearing?
When he's not around.
Right. Well, I mean, Omar would do that to your stash if it wasn't protected full time by 2 security guards that are twice his size.
That's right. Yeah. And multiple layers of security, alarms and locks and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. What was that movie with Sean Connery and what's her name? Where she was stepping through the lasers and stuff. What was that movie? They filmed that in your cigar vault, I'm sure. Catherine Zeta-Jones, I think it was. Catherine Zeta-Jones and Sean Connery.
The Oceans.
Wasn't one of the Oceans movies?
Oceans 13.
Oceans 11.
No, it wasn't that.
Look, I reckon they could make Oceans 15 based on my humidor.
Well, I can certainly make an Oceans 15. How many Fast and Furiouses are we up to now?
I don't know. I lost count.
Yeah. All right, I'm entering the final third now. Don't know where you guys are up to. We haven't really, no real talk about the Ash Challenge this time. I actually have been knocking the ash off.
I've dropped the ash once. I reckon mine's probably going to drop again soon. It's getting a little bit droopy.
Yeah, I've actively been knocking the ash off because I don't want to leave it all over my jolly desk in the studio here.
And Omar's not even smoking the right cigar, so he doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count.
A little bit of a vegetative note starting to come in on this final third.
Yeah. Noticed the same thing. I wondered whether it was because mine's not fully lit at the moment. It's just started to play some games on me.
Mine was having a little bit of a burn issue early on, but it seems to have corrected from about the midpoint.
Mine's burned well up until now. Entrapment, that was it. Daniel Turner. There you go, Entrapment. That's the one. Fast and Furious is up to 10. Goodness.
What was that? That was that Schwarzenegger movie, Last Action Hero. And on in the cinema, it was like Rocky 2000 or something.
Now that was a great movie. That was a great movie.
I'll tell you a movie that I think I've been meaning to watch for the last few months that I haven't got around to yet. It's Demolition Man. I think that was a cracker of a movie.
That was prophetic.
Yeah.
You watch it now, it's scary. It was a bit of a flop when it came out, though, wasn't it? Like, it wasn't well received at the time, but it's aged very well.
There's a meme that's been going around on social media a lot of recent. They want to re-release Groundhog Day, the sequel, and just play the first movie again.
Honestly, that would be so funny to me. I would go and watch it in the cinemas. I would.
Oh, absolutely. I'd be into that.
Like, honestly, if they could just find the balls to do it and just re-release the exact same movie, I would be there with bells on. They could just be like, "Hey, we're thinking about doing a remake of Groundhog Day. Oh, it's finished. You want to see it?"
It's still reasonably sweet. Like not as sweet as it was in the first third, but it is on the sweeter side of the spectrum for me.
I just haven't had that. I've had a very different experience to you on that. It's been very savoury, a little bit, well, not a little bit, quite dry, and a little bit tart now. There's a sourness with that vegetative note. There's a sourness beginning to come through as well.
It's definitely sour on my lips.
Yeah. Good cigar. Wouldn't rush for it again. I think the pick of these three has been the Short Churchill.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mind you, I still think, even though we had these expectations of what the Wide Churchill should be and what we're looking for, if we didn't have those expectations, I still think that Wide Churchill would have been a great stick.
It was a good stick. It was a good stick. Look, I feel a bit bad for the token black guy. We keep talking over him. Omar, what do you have to say?
Yeah, look, it just reminds us that number 8, that whole entire thing about word on the market in the news is that Cubans are buying tobacco elsewhere. That makes a lot of sense. It's starting to make a lot more sense.
Yes.
It's no more just a thought. It's people who are involved, the credible people, they say that, and they say that for a reason. That's number 1. And number 2, that Cuban cigars are not what they used to be, period. We have to realize that at some point. We have to get out of this paradox and taught that Cuban cigars are the cigars. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not true. It hasn't been true for at least 27 years. At least.
Yeah.
At least. So it's no more wank about Cuban cigars. Sorry.
Well, that Sobremesa Blue that Omar and I had the other week, one of the reasons I really, really appreciated that stick was it was so dynamic with its flavors. It wasn't just first, second, and final third. There must have been about 5 or 6 transitions in there, and then every so often you just get this like pop, just like you got that bitterness in a pop. We would get this pop of, incredible sweetness, almost like burnt honeycomb, intense clove and cinnamon.
Diverse.
Coffee. It was just amazing. It just kept you on your toes. You were just waiting to see what the next flavor was going to hit you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with Tim on that.
Tim, the thing is, I don't feel sourness towards you and your gifts. I don't feel anything at all. So I think you're actually just giving yourself way too much credit there.
Well, it could have been the gift tainted the cigar.
Nope.
Yep.
No. Who are we talking about? What you'd do is you'd come along and you'd stand in the line, Daniel, and wearing one of those spoiler T-shirts that's got Darth Vader is Luke's father and all the different spoilers from it, and then just see how many other people get into the spirit of it and whinge about the fact that you spoiled the movie for them. Could be fun. This is a good question, actually, from
Star Wars is actually owned by Disney now. I am adamant that we should see Star Wars in the Disney on Ice production.
That'd be amazing. Also, is it ever determined that Chewbacca is male? Because is it possible that Chewbacca might actually be a Disney princess?
It is, look, anything's possible these days.
Anything is
I
possible.
mean, if he just identifies, then there it is. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah. You heard it here first.
That was an interesting point there by Daniel. And I think it's actually both, to be honest, Daniel. I think that basically one of the problems is that the publicity and marketing around Cuban cigars has basically caused a demand that outstrips supply. They're willing to let anything fly out the door to see the numbers turning over. And you've got to remember that all the businesses in Cuba are owned by the government. So we really have a bureaucracy running the tobacco industry in Cuba. And it really doesn't come down to the art or the craft anymore. It just comes down to governmental decisions. But I think it's also true that everything else on the market has had to be so much better than a Cuban to just try and get traction in the market.
Yeah.
And there are people who are willing to try some really amazing stuff. You know, Perdomo doing the barrel aging, Drew Estate doing the infusion of the cigars, Steve Sarker doing all this funky ferments on his tobacco. And not only that, like, you don't get the diversity of wrappers in Cuban cigars. You can't get the same blend and try it in a Connecticut, a Sun-Grown, and a Maduro. You know, it's what it's been for the last whoever knows how long, and they just stick with that. They don't change. They don't want to change.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're old world, and they're trading off the name that they had from the 1950s.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily the fact because Cubans cigars are made by the Cuban government, which is the ultimate bosses of the industry, because they were making amazing cigars before 1995, 96. It was still the same government. Now, what happened is, I think, it is just not the structure change of power, or not the power, or it's not because it's a capitalist business. It is more so that demand has gone so up. It's gone up so high, and they say, what the fuck? They made a decision at the government level, said, we don't care. That's something we really care about with heart and souls. It's not our fucking passion. It's a business. And we are going to turn as many as we can, period. Out the door.
It's their biggest source of revenue for the Cuban government.
That's right. That's right. That's absolutely right.
I mean, we talk about how our government depends on tobacco taxes. Man, the Cuban government depends on tobacco.
That's right. Tobacco itself.
So Stuart's just saying his wrapper has just started to let go and burst out on the side. I can say with confidence, without even needing to see a picture, that that's got to be user error. Because it's Stuart. I mean, come on. Really? Anyone going to argue with me? No? Cool.
Nah, Stuart's not bad, man. He knows what he's doing.
No comment. Daniel, I've got a confession to make. That I've actually bought the 4K extended version of the first one, the Fellowship of the Ring, and that I did actually watch that here in my studio one night on this 85-inch TV behind me with the Bose soundbar. One night I was kicking back, and Stuart was here, and we watched that together, which Stuart has mentioned here. But Stuart, I've got a confession to make. That in one of those breaks when you were away, I actually bought the extended edit. Without you, and thoroughly enjoyed that, by the way. Just not trying to start nothing, but I'm just saying, like, it was, you know, I enjoyed watching that by myself. I haven't yet bought The Return of the King and watched that yet. So, you know, sorry to let you down there, Daniel, but I just wanted to turn the knife for Stuart as well, because you know, he wasn't here, so sucks to be him, I guess.
You got to be in it to win it.
That's it.
All right, Simon's asking, is this one a dud or is it okay? If the standard is okay, then it's okay. It's not a bad cigar. It's not a dud. The construction quality is remarkably good.
I would not be upset if I got this cigar and smoked it. Like, it is a good cigar, without a doubt.
Good construction quality, good burn, deep flavors, a bit of variance in what we're getting. Damo, you're getting sweeter. I'm getting much more savory. But in both cases, good cigar. Wouldn't rush out to have it again.
Yeah.
All right, I'm on a 5% battery here. Once this phone dies, I'm going to have to switch across to my computer, which is going to have much worse picture quality. So enjoy this amazing visage while you can.
There is a thing such as a charge cable that you can plug into your phone.
What is this new devilry? Actually, you know what? I do have. Oh, no, it's upstairs. Yeah, all my stuff's upstairs. Oh, well.
You'd have another set in the studio.
Yeah, well, some of us aren't rich enough just to have duplicated hardware lying around all over the house. Yeah, look, good stick. If someone handed this to me, I'd be like, yeah, thank you. You've given me a good stick. But I don't know, and maybe this is just the marketing from the last 100 years of Cuban tobacco history. But you do go into a Cuban with a certain level of expectation. Yes, there's the nervousness about the build quality, but if the build quality is okay and it draws well when you cut it, you go, oh, good. I'm in for a really good night. I'm in for a really good cigar, and you have a certain expectation of flavor profile. And when that expectation isn't met, it's not that it's bad, but it's different to that expectation. It's still hard to kind of see past that. At least for me, it is.
I'm actually starting to get that Cuban tang right at the nub.
Okay.
The quintessential Cuban tang has really just started to come in now on that last puff.
Wow. Didn't know Stuart was a comedian as well. I've never heard anyone describe him as a comedian, and there's probably a good reason for that. A couple of rings in this one. Oh, just dropped my ash on the desk, why don't I?
Not as many as non-Cubans, I've noticed.
Look, a lot of them are actually shooting over the top. I've had a good few, but just kind of missing the camera.
Oh.
Yep.
And he's gone.
Yep, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, sorry guys, that was the phone. It's going.
Shit. It's quite a ugly mug you have there.
Don't you go saying mean things about my teacup.
You're getting better, Topher. You're getting better, man. I like
Here's one I prepared earlier.
How come you're not using the studio cam?
Because it's won't interface with StreamYard. We'd have to do it via Zoom.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It's obviously not an Apple camera.
No, it's not. It's some shit camera.
You're not even trying anymore, are you, Damo?
That was mean machine, man.
It's my pleasure to disappoint you, Tim. My absolute pleasure.
That Cuban tang's gone again. That puff it just gone. I got about 3-4 puffs of it, and that was it.
A fleeting moment of Cuban tang. Did you enjoy it while it lasted?
Back to the vegetative note.
Yeah, heavy vegetative.
It's not a harsh vegetative note, I will say. Like it is just a soft, lets you know it's there, but it's not too dominant for me. The smoke's still smooth.
Smoke is very light, very smooth.
Still got that slight muskiness to it.
Smoking it down to the nub because I feel obliged, but honestly, it's just getting more and more sour. Mm.
Well, some of our upcoming shows in the next pack are going to be great because we've got Churchills and Toros.
Well, it's they're going to be longer shows. Whether that's good or bad, I leave to the discretion of the viewer. But they'll be longer.
They will be.
Mm.
That's it.
Maybe we'll just have to accidentally give Omar the wrong week or something. Just just tell him we've switched to the first Wednesday of every month and hope he doesn't realize.
I almost did it last time.
That's commitment, Omar. That's commitment. Oh, what? Huh? It's on. Ah.
Shit.
So Stuart, Tim, and Daniel will probably be on a 12-hour smoke on those sticks. I'm just trying to extrapolate out.
Don't stroke their egos, mate. They give me a hard enough time as it is.
What do you know about this cameras and photographies and videographies, Daniel?
Clearly more than you, because he's right.
You're going to be back up in Sydney again, aren't you, soon?
I'll be in Sydney again on the weekend of the 7th through to the 10th in preparation for the Donald Trump Jr. events.
Mm-hmm.
Should be good fun. And yes, I should be able to make time to catch up.
Very good. There's one criticism I do have of Mr. Trump.
Junior?
He lacks the finesse of Winston Churchill of smoking a cigar.
I believe Junior does.
Oh, that's good.
Senior, I'm not sure, but Junior, I believe he enjoys them from time to time.
Oh, very good.
And Damien, who owns Turning Point Australia and is organising the tour, is also a cigar smoker. So I might have to swing past your place on the way in, Damo, and raid your personal stash. Just fight off those two burly security guards. And
sorry, I'm right behind that day.
It's all right. I know where you live. I know where your studio is. I know where your station is. And I know that you've got 2 minutes to move, so there's going to be something there. Yeah, I got to put this down. This is turning really sour. If I go too much further on that, it's going to turn me green. Yeah, very sour.
I'm just starting to get an ashy flavour coming in on this, right at the nub.
I don't think this is a cigar that's designed to be smoked all the way down the way that we do here in Australia.
Yeah.
Tim, it sounds like Stuart might have got the cigar I meant to give to Omar.
Yeah, Tim's got a good point here, and actually, you've got so many security cameras around your stash there, Damo, that we probably don't even need to bring a film crew. We could just stitch the movie together out of the security cameras.
Yeah, I'm going to put that down.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
got a nasty turn at the end. That's a cigar that turns, like properly turns on you at the end.
But look, the reality with Cuban cigars, and Whiskey Pete said this plenty of times, you buy a box of Cuban cigars, there's usually 24, 25 in a box, and you do expect to have anywhere from 3 to 5 cigars that are just
10 to 20%.
No,
yeah, 10 to 20%. And when you add that onto the price, if you just write that off as the price of Cubans, you add that onto the already high premium that you're paying, and they become very expensive.
Yeah,
that's right.
Super.
Well, gentlemen, I believe that the two of us that were smoking the correct cigar are now finished. So I think that might be the end of the episode.
Pretty much.
Well, gentlemen, it's a pleasure as always. I will get photographs of Pack 11 up on the Cigar Professor page and the Cigar Professor group soon, and we'll send out an email with all the information. And I guess sometime in probably the next 2 weeks, Damo, we can expect invoices to go out.
Yep, I'll send out the invoices. As always, we give first priority to our existing subscribers, and then anyone else wants to jump in after that.
And then the riffraff can jump in after that. Yeah,
that's right. So we'll be sending out the invoices, as you said, in the next few weeks. If you don't receive an invoice, just drop us a message on Facebook, and we'll get one through to you straight away.
But let's put a date on that. If you don't have an invoice by, let's say, the what's it going to be? The Saturday the 17th, halfway through June.
Yep.
If you haven't received one, let us know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tim, you must be starved for good friendship. He says it was good to see us. Well, except for me. Okay, well, that makes more sense. I didn't read the end of the comment there. That makes more sense. Yeah. Still going, and I'll be waiting to hear about my invite for a movie night. When I have an entire night to put aside for a movie that isn't just a matter of, I will let you know. At the moment, I'm burning the candle at both ends. I'm literally going to finish this show and go on to do more work, and then I have an early interview tomorrow morning with someone who's based in America. So unfortunately, my life is a little bit of madness at the moment, but we will get to the point where we can do that Lord of the Rings marathon. I said I would, and I will, but it might be a little way off yet, Daniel. Sorry about that. Well, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Damo. Thank you, Omar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Omar's frozen.
He always looks like that.
Omar's. It's hard to tell with Omar. He sits so still.
Can you not guys hear me?
I was going to say happy birthday to Omar, but I'm just not sure that there's a point anymore.
No.
Well, now I don't want to end.
Not when he let us down. So.
Oh, if Omar's about to drop out because his internet's gone bad, then we should just keep the show going for a while.
That's it.
That's an incentive I saw one. All right, well, I'm going to have to wish Omar a happy birthday some other way, some other place. But thank you all for watching. Keep an eye on your emails. Keep an eye on the Cigar Professor Facebook page and the group. And we will talk again soon all about Pack 11. See you then.
See ya.